What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. And many of you guys have been asking about certain things with, why is it that certain players play better without abilities? What do you mean by that? What player should I be using abilities on? And, why does it matter which player that I use abilities on? All of these things you guys been throwing at me. I told you guys I would get back to you with it. Pretty much I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you really, really quickly so that you guys understand, all right? You should be able to understand thoroughly what's going on after this video and why I put abilities on certain players. Now, with the whole format of the way EA does this, I want you guys to keep in mind, they can easily tune what the players are doing, like without actually putting out title updates. So if you notice that your players are not performing the way that they're supposed to, it's not a coincidence. It's actually EA Sports and it's in the game. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna talk about why Garrison Hearst, right? This guy has really, really good spin, but his numbers that show on his card doesn't really reflect it because I think he's only like an 89 or something like that, but he's actually a very, very good player when it comes to spin move. All right, so he's an 89, he has a 93 juke, a 93 stiff arm. This guy, Bo Jackson, is probably the best player to use without abilities, but he's very, very bulky. And you guys may be talking about like, what do you mean he's bulky? His body archetype is very, very wide and he's like a power back. The elusive backs that have the symbolism of the lightning bolt on the left, these guys are able to get animations without abilities that Bo Jackson would never get in his wildest dreams doing the same type of things. Like, Bo Jackson would be more likely to get a crazy truck animation or a stiff arm animation rather than a spin move where the players freeze and they drop on the ground, or a juke move where you just take the guy's ankles out and they get frozen. Those animations are still actively in the game. You do not need abilities to activate that. So what happened was I was testing out Garrison Hearst based on some of the feedback from my viewers, and I'm like, yo, hold on. You guys been really going crazy about him. And to be honest with you, this guy, he's really, really good. Like, listen, bro, look, when you guys are right, I let you know. When you guys are wrong, I let you know too. That's why, you guys love me, bro, because I tell you like it is. If you guys put me in a situation where dudes is garbage, bro, I'm going to let you know about it. Garrison Hearst is not garbage. Is he a guy that I would keep, though? Like, once another running back comes out that is a different Ultimate Legend or whatever, would I, hesitate for 1 second to rage sell Garrison Hearst? No, I would not. Absolutely not. But I'm going to keep him on the squad regardless because he's a ×3 49er chem and he keeps everything going with the 49ers. So I'm all good with that. But would I raid sell him actively? Like, just do it? Yes, I would. Just in case you guys are asking about that. Absolutely 100% I would. But utilizing him without abilities, you will not notice the difference, especially if you like the spin move, all right? Because I want to make you guys understand, the spin move is not as OP as like Madden 18 was, but you can really elude a lot of defenders if you time the spin move correctly, especially if you hold down the L2 button when you spin and get that precise spin. It makes a difference, all right? So with him, we're going to start with the running backs. You will notice that you get pretty much the same thing out of guys like this. Bo Jackson, like I said, I think he's the top guy to use without abilities because he actually sucks when he has abilities on. It's something about the game. I don't know what it is. Maybe because he was too OP, EA is like, yo, you know what? We got to tone him down, and they just didn't let us know because the dude is garbage with abilities. When he doesn't have abilities, he stiff arms more, he spins more, he jukes more. Garrison Hearst, definitely worth it if you guys want to go ahead and dabble with that. He definitely, you could utilize a player like him without abilities. Now, why would I start him? Pretty much the overall, but why would I give Eric Dickerson his version, give him the X factors? Why would I do that? It's a no-brainer. The dude starts with Freight Train 100. Now, even though EA Sports has tuned this and he only gets 5 downs utilizing Freight Train no matter what, he gets Jukebox, Spin Cycle, Outside Zone Guru. All right, with those things that he has right there, in addition to starting the game off with Freight Train, you have probably I would say like a 50% chance to break a big run to start the game because Freight Train is going to make you break ridiculous amounts of tackles. Now, it also depends on when you're playing, what EA Sports sliders is up, like what is going on with it. Like it's not every game he's going to play that way, but you're going to play some games where you just can't tackle him. And that's pretty much determined by EA Sports before you even log in. It's nothing you can do about it. Like, you're going to deal with that regardless, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that you have to understand specifically just to, you can't do anything about it. This dude with Freight Train 100, unbelievable. So he's a guy that is still very, very unique, even though they've patched him, because he starts with his ability. So he's a guy that you got to run the ball. Now look, this is pretty much for runners. If you're a guy that passes the ball every snap, you're going to need your quarterback and you're going to need 2 wide receivers. I'm just saying in general, these players are going to make plays without any issue at all. You're not going to have, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be, they're going to play like monsters, especially these NFL 100 players, because they start with their X factor, you know, activated. But again, if you're a passer, you might want to go with Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson. You know, have Moss activated with the NFL 100. Just know that you got a touchdown coming regardless. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, eat like that. You can do it like that if you want and see how that works out. But if you don't want to deal with Moss because you only get it for 1 play and then the rest of the game he's useless, you could go with Calvin. You know, Calvin's 6'5", he's an inch taller, 99 speed as well. So the reason that I go along this lines with Calvin and I don't deal with Randy Moss is because, like I said, he's bigger and they give him very, very cheesy animations. Like, if you guys have used Calvin and you've done different things, he gets very, very cheesy animations. So it's worth it to give a bigger body receiver the, you know, the abilities and the X factor. But if you're a passing team, I would simply just go with 2 wide receivers and your quarterback. Because you know you're going to use escape artists. You want to hike the ball. You want to run around like an idiot. It's in your blood at this point. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, you wake up and you just can't wait to run escape artists. Like, a lot of you do. It's like, oh my God, escape artists before you do anything else. It's probably one of the most ridiculous abilities ever put into a video game, because dudes are just doing it just to make your defenders, you know, get sucked down. And then all of a sudden everybody's wide open. So it's kind of weird the way it works out. But it is what it is. You know, it's part of the game. But Calvin Johnson is a monster, so I'd rather have him with double me, and then what happens is I activate it by throwing a couple drags whenever I need to, because primarily I run the ball a lot, but you got to get, like, you know, what is it? I think you got to get like 3 or 4 first downs or something like that, and you get double me activated, and then you just eat all game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just keep throwing the ball. As long as it's one-on-one coverage, you keep throwing to him every play, and you're all set. That's my mindset with it, because Moss just kind of forces you to throw it to him the first play. And if you don't, you feel like a failure. So I had to just take it off, bro. And then all of a sudden, everybody is knocking the ball out like they nerfed Moss. So for me, it doesn't really matter. But again, if you're a passing team, 2 wide receivers and your quarterback, because you have to have abilities on your quarterback in order to really make it work if you're a passing team. Whether you run around like an idiot or not, it doesn't really matter. All right? So that's pretty much what I would do according to, like, you know, the skill positions. Your O-line, I highly recommend for you to never ever again put abilities on. I've tried it over and over again to see if they would change it up, but once they released the Joe Thomas that was OP, EA has not even thought about letting these O-linemen do anything they're supposed to do. Like, seriously, they do not do anything they're supposed to do. It's really, really bad. They don't do anything extra. Dudes are getting thrown down by the skinniest corners. It's stupid. So I would avoid putting any abilities on your O-line. Tight end, you know, matchup nightmare, things like that. With George Kittle, I've heard good things. But again, to put it on a tight end with the way I run my schemes probably doesn't make too much sense for me, because I got to make sure that Calvin Johnson with that streak specialist can get wide open. So I prefer the wide receiver. Defensively, I will continue to yell it from the rooftops, bro. Your secondary players must have the abilities and they must have enforcer. Everybody else, like Julius Peppers, bro, the thing that's interesting about him, a lot of you guys are putting finesse specialists on him. You're doing all kinds of weird stuff. This guy plays like he's going to play no matter what. And I knew he was going to do that. That's why I told you guys I was waiting all that time, because I knew that they would release him early enough. He's a monster no matter what, okay? He don't need abilities. He don't need nothing. Just put him out there. Same thing as D Ford. Daniil Hunter was pretty good as well, but we had to get rid of somebody. You know, John Randall, these guys, they do not need abilities. Okay, they are going to go out. LT, these guys are going to go out. Well, LT sometimes with abilities goes wild, but he still plays the same for me without. This guy's a monster. I just want to be very, very clear with it. Your front 7, I wouldn't necessarily put abilities on them. I would focus on the secondary, because the secondary is what makes you win games. Your guys that are going to be big hitters that are out there that, like, you know, they do cleanup, those are the guys that cause the most catastrophe. Sean Taylor, Taylor Mays, you know, Night Train Lane that gets enforcer at corner. These guys are the key components, because once they make contact with anybody that, you know, breaks the front 7, they're usually going to get a big hit. Now, the big hits don't usually cause fumbles all the time, but what happens is it seriously fatigues them. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that when you go back to a play after you get hit stick and you look at your blue circle, you see that it kind of gets dim and it starts to change color because they got a hit stick. All right, when they get hit stick like that and you're playing an opponent that doesn't understand that he just took a hit stick and he wants to hurry up offense, or he wants to come right back with the same running back and not flip it back and forth to try to get a little bit more stamina back, he's going to fumble the next time he gets hit. All right, why does that happen? The enforcer draws all that fatigue. It draws the stamina from them, so they're not able to really do anything that they want to do after the fact. So with that being said, you need to, and I'm telling you this again, and this is the reason that a lot of you guys are winning more games, because you listen. And you know, like when you guys give me certain things that you want me to listen to, I'll try it out. If it works, I give you guys credit. If it doesn't, I won't. And that's pretty much it. This enforcer thing, you need these guys on your squad. And you don't have to have these specific players, but I'm giving you guys the understanding that you need to. It is a very, very important thing for you to have enforcers in certain positions on both sides of the field. Because no matter where your opponent is trying to run the ball, no matter what he's doing, one of these guys have to hit him. Okay? One of these guys has to hit him, and it has to hurt. And I don't care who it is, but they all have to have enforcer. And it doesn't matter, except for D tackles, right end, left outside linebackers, and right outside linebackers. The middle linebackers can get the fumble animations. The players that I just, the positions that I just mentioned, left outside linebacker, right outside, right end, D tackle, left end, those guys are trash with enforcer. So if I catch you guys running around with enforcer on those guys, I know that you haven't been listening, and I also know you're not going to get any fumbles, because they don't. And put it like this, if you put it on a guy like Alan Page and he hits the quarterback, EA doesn't allow that enforcer to really hit the quarterback to make them fumble. They fumble on like whims, like you'll just run into them and they'll drop the ball. They don't allow the quarterbacks to get hit stick. I've tried it manually. I've clicked off on it. They will not, unless they cross the line of scrimmage. When they're behind the line of scrimmage, they're not getting anything extra. So it doesn't make any sense for you to give these guys enforcer if the benefit is not there. Because remember, what are we looking for? We're looking for a benefit for the things that we're trying to, to get from the game. If these guys are not going to get it for us, why are we wasting abilities and abilities and X factors on them? It doesn't make any sense. So that's just something that I wanted to point out to you guys to make sure that you guys understand. Now, when it comes to special teams, this is extremely important. Okay, Zane Gonzalez is the GOAT because he has 97 kick power and he's kicking it from outside the stadium. But that's not the only thing that makes him really, really unique. He gets both of the X factors. So you get a slow kick meter and then you get clutch kicker. So guess what? It comes down to a tied game with 0 seconds. Well, I can't say 0. Well, EA will let you do stuff with 0 seconds on the clock, but that's neither here nor there. It's 1 second left on the clock. You know the dude's going to call the timeout because he kept his one timeout because he's a piece of garbage and he wants to make sure that he ice you. You don't have to worry about the ice the kicker effect. All right? Not only that, you get focus kicker. So everything is slow. It's easy. It's perfect. You got everything you need. This is a must-have for any team. Very, very important ability and X factor, whatever. Well, these are only abilities. They don't get an X factor, but very, very important to have this. Okay, I got him for like 200 and something. 230K or something like that. I don't remember what, but he wasn't that expensive. After he let the time go by, his price came down dramatically. He is a game changer for you guys. He will make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. Now, understand this though. The special teams doesn't correspond to the kick returner and the punt returner. Unfortunately, you only, pretty much get to do something with the punter and the kicker. I guess because these guys also are in your starting lineup, so EA doesn't want to make you be able to avoid giving them abilities as far as in the starting lineup and then have them out here doing whatever they want and then give them an ability that they can then use in the actual offense. It probably wouldn't make any sense, which is why it's pretty much limited to the kicker and the punter. But those are very, very important things to do. Obviously, I would not use it on the punter. I don't think that makes sense to put your abilities on the punter. I think the kicker is more important, but whatever you guys decide, that's up to you. As far as everything else that I've just explained to you guys, if you want to use other players in the place of, certain plays that I showed you guys, like say you don't have Night Train, but you want to use a safety and play him at corner with Enforcer, I don't really care how you do it. I'm just letting you guys understand that this is very, very important to make you win more games. It's not going to, it's going to heavily affect the outcome of games because you'll know that even if you're not good with user stick skill and you want to click off, if the players have enforcer, they're going to force the fumble. Your opponent is going to fumble no matter what. So those are just some very, very important things that I need you guys to understand. It is very, very important that you understand that because you're not going to get away with it, bro. And you're going to play people that are going to be doing exactly what I'm telling you, and you're going to be the one that's going to lose from it. I don't want that to happen. So again, depending on what you do, if you're a runner, I wouldn't recommend that you give your running backs, both your running backs, the abilities. And the reasoning, even though I run the ball a lot, that I choose field generals is because of their ability to just change every route. Very, very difficult for your opponent to run man plays and edge blitz every play if you can have any route on the field, because the out route, the post, the combinations, it really, really hurts them. So just so you guys understand it, there's a method to the madness. In the past, I did have both of my running backs have abilities and X factors. It wasn't as successful because they knew, the game only works right if you have abilities on the players that you primarily use, which is why Calvin Johnson all of a sudden just jumps through people's bodies and catches the ball no matter what. Eli Manning, he's been very, very accurate as of late. We'll see how that transpires. If you guys have any of the questions or something I didn't cover about the players that play better without abilities, let me know. Leave it in the comments. I'm pretty sure the community will be all over it. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.